My name is Leah Robb. I am an arm wrestling artist and I have an opinion about the elbow fouls. Anyone who's been following the comments after matches will be aware that there's quite a lot of complaint about the whole intentional elbow foul. By the way, I'm a big John fan and that's my main reason for being interested in arm wrestling. No shame in that because it's pretty much the same story across the board. But anyway, so different leagues have treated elbow fouls in various ways. So we've had the micro awareness of just the elbow bump. You see this match between John and Taras.
What happened there? And is that a foul? They've given it. It is an elbow foul, John Brzenk. You can't believe it. Taras hit there, was stopped. He ran into a stone wall and dropped off the front of the pad. And John Brzenk, in my opinion, quite rightly, is questioning that because I've really got to see that on the replay. And it's such a small fraction of a second.
Could you imagine if you ended up only having to tug somebody's arm back, and then if you did that twice each round, then you won. So that's kind of problematic. Then there's the running foul, and it's the worst punishment you can get because you actually need to fight to win in order to just get a restart. So I think it has to be a punishment that's a little bit like a yellow card in football. You know, it has to be for something bad rather than just oh look, you made a little jump. You didn't gain the advantage, now you have to pin the other person before you can get a restart. You could see in John's match against Corey West, even the commentators were confused as to where we were in the rounds, and even the refs needed a little bit of help from Corey.
You, runner!
Lay down now.
No!
I already had a runner.
Stop.
Wow.
Two runners.
He did.
Why would I keep pulling?
You didn't have a runner in this go. You had a runner in the last go.
No, he did. He did.
All right. Then winner.
Oh, that could have been an elbow.
You're on a runner.
So if one person causes a running foul, then then the other guy, if he then lifts his elbow or does something causing an elbow foul, and you've got two people fouling, which one will then dominate? Does it get annulled? Can they work this out during a round?
Oh, Khaled was on a runner. Who was on a runner? Referee.
After seeing John's match with Kachan, that very deliberate elbow foul, I would have liked to have seen that round just continue, like get your elbow back on the pad and let's get on with it, rather than being able to start all over. And this has happened to John a lot of times through this comeback period where, whoop, look at my elbow, it's off the pad, I need a restart. The fact that John doesn't do it, I haven't seen him do it, makes me think that this is a modern loophole way to arm wrestle. And when a loophole appears, then you kind of have to fill it, in my opinion. And I think this is a loophole that needs to be filled because, I mean, just ask John if he thinks that deliberate elbow fouls should be allowed.
No.
I don't think he's much for it, even though he has said he prefers that to the whole
Referees
running
consulting
foul
with each
system
other. Let's
because
see what
it's
the call
confusing.
is. Potentially a runner.
So this idea in East versus West where the tiny elbow bumps that don't gain any advantage, forget them. Great idea in my opinion. But what if, now this is me doing a brainstorm, and you can tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, or you can feed off it and maybe we can get to some kind of patch for this loophole. So I was thinking, in football, if somebody fouls, you get a free kick, and if it's even worse than a free kick, you get a yellow card. If you're fouled bad enough, then you get a yellow card and the opponent gets a free kick. And the free kick, funnily enough, is to the advantage of the one who's been fouled. It's not a restart in a neutral position where the fouler gets just as big an advantage as the fouled. So what about a restart that is in a position that is determined by the one who was fouled, and obviously within a certain range. The other option to be the one who gets to decide what position to start in, whether it maybe be the decision of a choice of whether to start in hook or whether to start in top roll, or whether the one who was fouled gets to say go, if you like. You know, like a free kick is the team who was fouled who gets to decide when the ball is kicked. Could be an interesting one. Or it could even be both. I don't know. I think it just needs to, this loophole needs to get shut down seriously. And the reason why I think it's maybe better to give this than just a direct loss is because if it becomes a grey zone, the acting gets better in terms of whether the foul was intentional or not, then it would be a good idea to have a weight that says that, okay, you fouled unintentionally, we were a bit unsure, but then you've got to prove your worth. You know, you have to be able to withstand the disadvantage of starting in a losing position or not being the one that says go. So let me know what you think, if you have any thoughts. And of course you might also be like, what's this woman doing on our male-dominated sports forum? I'm going to at some point do some kind of video about all this gender identity stuff, because honestly, somebody needs to speak up. But that's for another film.